April Fool's Day. I'm not going to play any jokes on you because the show's evergreen, so we can't really do that. I'm going to kick us off with our reading. I have to actually work today. I told you I was on vacation, but today's the one day I got to work because there's a monthly function that has to get done, and I'm trying to be helpful. So I got to actually be on a little bit more solid schedule today. So here goes. That's why you're getting me without a full cup of coffee in me. Anyway, here goes. April 1st. I do not want to stand with the setting sun and hate myself for the things I've done. By Edgar A. Guest. We have finally come to terms with many unpleasant things in our lives. The pain of our addiction led us away from who we really were. Now, as we become more firmly entrenched in our 12-step program, we learn how important it is to be true to ourselves. We know now that in order to be truly happy, we must be happy with ourselves. At the end of the day, if we can look in the mirror and honestly say, today I'm happy with me, we are one step further in our recovery. We can never be so sure of ourselves that there is no room for improvement. When we find ourselves becoming disillusioned and unhappy, we can do an inventory asking, am I the best me I can be? Maybe our minds need to be stretched and stimulated. Maybe it's time for a modest exercise program. Maybe we need to spend more time with God. Doing one small thing can help us feel better about ourselves. Recovery is a lifelong journey. Each day we take another step. When we do the small things to grow, one day, perhaps today, we'll look up and feel the happiness gathering in our lives. Today, let me do the things I know are right for me. Wow, that was a good one, right? I related to so many things in that reading. It definitely is, and it being recovery is a long-term game. We don't get cured overnight. We don't get to just do the work some of the days. I think I mentioned that I would share what happened on the hills yesterday, and it seemed kind of relevant today. So on my bike ride yesterday, I had a couple thoughts that went through my head, all these little recovery thoughts. And one was about the hills in the distance and how by the end of last year, when I was biking a little more regularly, I could go farther. I could get up the hills faster. I could breathe easier. All those things that were a little bit more challenging yesterday because I was out of practice. And I was thinking how similar that is to recovery. If I don't go to my meetings regularly, if I don't read my meditations in the morning, if I don't practice my self-care and take care of my body, I get further and further away from practicing my recovery. My personality legitimately changes. I get bitchier and grumpier, and I don't make decisions as clearly, or at least I don't make good decisions. I might make decisions, but they might be made with logic versus heart when heart should be required. So I think that it's important that we work on it every day. Obviously, here I am working on it twice a day with you guys so that I keep my sanity. The other thing about my trip yesterday was I left the house, I went outside, and I went to go pump up the air down at the gas station at the corner, and it was cold, and I was not dressed right. And I went and I filled the air, and I rode my bike back. Now, at this point, I could have been like, oh, it's too cold. It's too hard. I'm going to go back up in my nice warm apartment. But I had to have the voices in my head go, no, Bobbie, you want to do a bike ride. You got to start somewhere. Go add clothes, right? It was that simple. And by simple, I had to park the bike, go up 3 flights of stairs, whatever, and add more clothes. But I kept going. And then as I got going on the ride, I was like, wait, I knew the point that I wanted to get to, this pretty point at a lock where I could see the bridge, and it's a good turnaround point. And there was a couple moments on the path where I'm like, okay, well, I could turn around here. And again, those voices in my head had to, talk me through it and go, Bobbie, no, you got the time. You're already out here. Start here. And I mean, it wasn't a big ride at all. It was just it was a big deal last year when I got to this point for the very first time, but it shouldn't have been a big deal yesterday. So my point is, if I wasn't keeping my brain strong and my heart dialed into my recovery and the things that I do, I might not have pushed through those couple things. I might have, been back home upstairs instead of, going for the chilly ride, getting all pissed off about all the litter bugs that live in this area. So those are my couple bike ride adventures. The other little nugget I got from the reading, which is kind of interesting because in addition to the water challenge, I want us thinking about our water. I need to do a better job than I did yesterday. I hope you're doing a better job. Remember, half your body weight in ounces as a goal. And by water, I mean water, not water with Crystal Light or water with, fun stuff that make it not water anymore. The conversation in this reading about being happy with ourselves and looking in the mirror and working towards our goals is kind of how I read it. I found a little question of the day. I'm going to keep mixing this up. I'm on the fly and I can do whatever I want. So yesterday we talked about trying to learn something new every day, and that in the water, I hope you keep doing every single day. And I'm going to keep reminding you every single day, because I believe that taking care of our body and our mind are both important and both help us become more successful in recovery. So here's a different kind of question, and here goes. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? I think that this question, maybe journal about it, think about it, talk to someone in your quarantine about it, really look into that and see what would the answer be, and take fear off the table. And that's what I've been trying to train my voices to do. I mean, I'm still working on my confidence to be here with you. I was very fortunate that, one of my friends said, Bobbie, your show's good, but stop apologizing. And I didn't even realize I was apologizing, and it had to do with my editing. Who cares if I'm a perfect editor? It doesn't matter. Obviously, I'm putting out these guys as unedited additions. I mean, I could invest a lot more time into cleaning them up and whatever, but really it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The time it would take to do that, if I'm putting into one of my self-care activities for the day, reading, learning, doing something else, that's a better use of my time than striving for perfectionism. So, all right, that was a lot to take in and a lot to say, and I think you get where I'm coming from. So I'm going to bid you farewell until this evening. I hope everyone has a great day. Don't play too many cruel jokes on each other. Have a little fun with it. Thanks, beautiful people. Talk to you soon.